Hello friends, this is PP and welcome to another video on the channel Law for All. In this video, we're going to be learning about the concept of outraging modesty of a woman, that is under section 354 of the Indian Penal Code. Now we're going to be essentially learning about the ingredients as to what constitutes an offense under section 354 of the Indian Penal Code. Now, as always, before I begin with the video, I would like to mention that if you're interested in learning on various topics under the Indian law like conveyancing of deeds or drafting of civil suit or Consumer Protection Act or so on and so forth, then I've left some useful links in the description section of the video, so kindly check them out if you're interested. Now, getting into the video, let us get into section 354 of IPC. Now, as always, I'll first read out the section and then I will try to break it down and try and give my explanation as regards the entire section. Now, assault or criminal force to woman with an intent to outrage modesty. Whoever assaults or uses criminal force to any woman intending to outrage or knowing it to be likely that he will thereby outrage her modesty shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which shall not be less than 1 year but which may extend to 5 years and shall also be liable to fine. Now, the first part of the section itself requires some contemplation and the rest is fairly simple. Now, whoever assaults or uses criminal force to any woman intending to outrage or knowing it to be likely that he will thereby outrage her modesty. Now, whoever assaults, now an assault in itself will also amount to an offense under section 354. Of course, there is an intention required to outrage the modesty of a woman, or that for that matter, even if the assaulter has the knowledge that his assault will outrage the modesty of a woman, in that case a offense under section 354 of the IPC will be committed. So it is not necessary that you have to intend to outrage the modesty of a woman. It is also sufficient that you had the knowledge that your assault in itself would constitute the offense of section 354, that you had the knowledge that your assault will likely cause the outrage of modesty of a woman, and in that case also the offense of outraging modesty of a woman under section 354 of the IPC will be made out. Now, another aspect also that I would like to point out is the section states, the language of the section, whoever assaults or uses criminal force, whoever. So it is not only as in the case of say section 375 or the other sexually oriented sections wherein it has specifically mentioned the word man, that is, if any man does so. But as in this section, it is whoever assaults or uses criminal force to outrage the modesty of a woman. So it is not necessary that it has to be a man. This offense can also be committed by a woman also. It is absolutely not necessary that it has to be individually and singly carried out by only one man itself. That it can also be carried out by a woman also. That is, if a woman sort of assaults another woman or touches her or punches her inappropriately or sort of disrobes her or humiliates that female, then in that case an offense under section 354 of the IPC will be made out. And if in case the offense is committed, then that it shall be punishable with a description for a term which shall not be less than 1 year but which may also extend to 5 years and shall also be liable to fine. Now, as always, it is the discretion of the judicial magistrate or the presiding officer to impose a sentence considering the facts and circumstances of the case. Hence, it has been mentioned that it can be from 1 year and it can extend all the way up to 5 years as well. Now, this is one of the very important sections that I would which I would like to bring to your notice. A fairly important judgment on this topic, and it essentially talks about the concept of outrage of modesty. It is Raju Pandurang Mahle versus State of Maharashtra. Now, what constitutes an outrage to a female modesty is nowhere defined. The essence of woman's modesty is her sex. The culpable intention of the accused is the crux of the matter. The reaction of a woman is very relevant, but its absence is not always decisive. Modesty in this section is an attribute associated with female human beings as a class. It is a virtue of which attaches to a female owing to her sex. The act of pulling a woman, removing her sari, coupled with the request of sexual intercourse, is such as would be an outrage of the modesty of a woman, and knowledge that modesty is likely to be outraged is sufficient to constitute the offense without any deliberate intention having such outrage alone for its object. As indicated above, the word modesty is not defined and such outrage alone for its object. As indicated above, modesty is not defined in the Indian Penal Code. So essentially, what happens is that the prosecuting authority, or rather the police, have vast and wide powers to charge the accused under this section if it is an offense of assault pertaining or which has been committed as against a woman, because the concept of modesty itself has not been defined. So therefore the section has vast and wide interpretations, and so therefore the police reserve vast and wide powers to inflict it upon any circumstance or any accused as they may please, so long as the offense is committed as against a woman. Now, as in this particular case, if you were to search up this judgment and look into the details of this judgment, as in this case, an offense of rape was also committed. So therefore, offense of rape was committed, and also the accused were also charged with this section 354, that is outrage of modesty. So therefore, outrage of modesty can be coupled with any sort of an assault which is committed on a woman. It may not only be sort of a physical assault, but it can also be an accused can also be charged under section 354 even if that accused has committed an offense under rape. So rape will constitute a separate offense altogether, and this would be a separate offense, and the accused will be tried for both the sections collaterally, depending upon the facts and circumstances of the case. So this is a very important judgment, the most important judgment when it comes to the concept of outrage of modesty. That is, modesty has not been defined, the concept of modesty has not been defined, and so therefore the prosecuting authority will have vast and wide powers. Of course, it is eventually left to the discretion of the judicial magistrates as to infer as to what constitutes the outrage of modesty. But by and large, the interpretation would be that any offense or assault which sort of humiliates a woman would constitute an outrage of modesty. So that is about it as regards this topic. Kindly to like, share and subscribe to this channel for more such content. As again, I would like to point out that there are some useful links in the description section of the video, so kindly do check them out if you're interested. Thank you for watching this video. Until next time, this is PP saying bye.